Hello there, people of the internet. My name is Rui Jagero, and this is Dialogues with Jagero. I am with Sharon. I am with Shaka. Shaka. But why do you hate the name? Do you really don't like the name Sharon?
No, I don't hate. I don't
name.
hate Sharon.
Mm-hmm.
I just hate my middle name, but I don't hate Sharon.
Sharon is fine.
Sharon is fine. It's just common.
Do you consider yourself living your best life, Shaka?
Not yet. Not right now. No.
What's the problem?
I don't have the ideal bank account.
You mean bank balance?
Yeah. So I'm not living my best life.
But at 23, you've got your whole life ahead of you.
That's what they say, but I could die tomorrow then. Do you really think we have the rest of our lives ahead of us? Are you seeing how the world is just crumbling in front of our eyes?
They attempted to shoot Trump.
Right?
My mother was called Rhoda Nyabondo.
Ish.
Rhoda was her first name. And Anyango is her second name. And then she took my father's name. Yeah?
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people never called her by her names. Nobody. I never had anybody call her Rhoda.
What did they call her?
They call her the mother of the firstborn. She lost her identity to motherhood, so she was called Minakini, Minatoti, Minken, Minolu. So the mother too. I don't know whether that is in other tribes. In Kikuyu land, do you call people Mama Nani?
Yeah, mother of the firstborn, father of the firstborn.
Oh yeah. So yeah, that is what they used to call my mother, but the age mates were calling her Nyabondo, the daughter of Abondo, and that is very much in Luo. They can refer to you in three ways: by calling you Mama Nani, the mama of the firstborn, or they will call you from where you are coming from, where your original home, your mother, where you were married from, where you're coming from to get married here, or they would call you the name of the daughter of the daughter of so and so.
Yeah.
So we'll call you the daughter of Kamau, So my mother, they used to refer to her as Nyabondo, that is the daughter of Abondo. You get?
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. So she was a homemaker. These days they say Swani wanasemanga homemaker.
Oh.
I think that is the respectful term that they give to women that stay at home. The housewives. But she was a housewife, took care of us. My father had his problems. He was having problem with alcohol, very alcoholic, and I think the problem with alcohol was running in the family because my grandfather was also one, and I think I don't know about. I think I see a lot of Kikuyus right now. The villages are having problems with alcohol.
Yeah.
Right, but when I was growing up, young boys weren't drinking much like the uncles. But I think now if you go to the village, a lot of people who are drinking are the young people, are not really like the old people.
Yeah.
The old people are wametulia kidogo. So one of the things that I've always thought about motherhood is that you lose your identity pretty quickly.
Yes.
And I think that is, when I got married, that is one of the things that my wife didn't want, to lose her identity by thinking about, for example, in this Ruto's government, if you're going to be having one child, 2 children, 3 children, 4 children, I mean, you're going to lose yourself. You're going to start. And for me, I didn't want to live a life whereby I'm always constantly thinking of children. Yeah. I don't want to be bothered by children left, right, and center. Children are really bothersome, I think. Okay. Having one is more than enough for me.
Yeah.
Going forward and taking care of children.
So you're not gonna get another one?
No.
Yeah.
I can't. If one of these days something happens, the only thing I'm not going to get is a vasectomy. A man has to have his balls intact.
We've talked about this.
Yeah. So my mother was that kind of a woman.
Yeah.
So I talked with you guys last time, and you didn't have a lot to say about. You did have a lot to say about your mothers. It is very, very interesting. It was very interesting to me, actually. You've not spoken with your mother for 3 years. Can you tell me the reason why you haven't spoken with your mother for 3 years? Anakukol na unakata.
No, she doesn't even call.
She has not called you for 3 years.
Yeah. I think the best answer would be because of my mental health. We don't talk, but my mental health is doing amazing. Like when she's away.
Yeah? How so?
How? Like, you would have to go from the beginning. I think, but let me prefix by saying, I think I always give a disclaimer, but let me prefix by saying, I do not hate my parents. I do not agree with their parenting styles.
Yeah.
But I don't hate them. They are still human beings. At the end of the day, they're still human beings. They were parents for the first time. It doesn't justify some of the things they did. But at the end of the day, like, I think I value peace more than anything. So I'm not afraid to not talk to my mom for 3 years. And I don't feel any kind of remorse, any kind of regret. I don't. Because my mental health is it's not okay, but it's way better when she's not around. For a long time, because I would have to start by saying I'm the only girl. I was the only girl in my family. I only had brothers growing up, so I was majorly surrounded by men throughout, majorly. And my parents were the kind of parents who were entrepreneurs. So for a long time growing up, my parents were not around 8 to. You're not seeing your parents that 8 to 5. You're barely seeing your parents. So you're either being raised by the housey, or you're raising each other. That's something else.
That's what you call a housemate, a housey.
Housey, okay, but that's just slang. Housey. Yeah, the house managers. So, along the way, there are a lot of things I didn't have. I didn't have a mom who was present. I didn't have a mom who, taught me how to be feminine. And then there's also this thing African parents do, and then they blatantly lie that they don't do it. African parents have a tendency to have a favorite child. It's true, and it's very clear. And even you, like, as a kid, you can see it. It's very clear. No matter how many times they say, oh, we treat you all equally, you can see it. You can see the favorite child of mom is this, and the favorite child of dad is this. So I was always the middle. I'm neither here nor there. I was never the child who my parents worried about, because academically I was okay. I was always like self-driven. Because I was already the minority, I would call it that. I think I just conditioned myself to just be independent. I think I learned from a very young age, I'm always going to be the minority. I'm always going to be underrepresented. I'm going to just have to do things my own way, But that also meant parents have this thing for, if they see a child who's like, they don't need to worry so much about, the kid who your grades are okay, teachers are not complaining about you, so they don't tend to like parent you parent yourself. So that ends up being, you still want to feel that motherly and fatherly love. So what happened was I became a very rebellious kid at some point. I was very, very rebellious because there was nothing I was doing that was getting these people's attention. So I was like, so I'm going to now do the extreme opposite so that I can get their attention. But the relationship I had with my mom, I think was damaged from a very young age, but I think it was also damaged majorly from the fact that she also came as a damaged person. She didn't have a good mom. In fact, I think the stories I've heard of my grandma and how they were being raised, she was those people who are very violent, physically violent, especially when they're angry. Like, umemkasirisha, whatever is in her hand, even if it's an iron box, she will throw it to you, you know. So I think damaged people just end up damaging other people. So I cannot excuse the things she did, because if you got damaged, you would not want to put someone else through that. So in as much as she didn't physically hurt me, she emotionally and psychologically damaged me.
When you and your mother, the person that should have loved you, the person that birthed you and brought you into this world, when relationship between those two people break down, because like I started this podcast by talking about my mother.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And if I were to be, there's a time I was in the office, and then a lady came to my office, and then her phone started ringing. You see? I think I told you this in the last episode.
Did.
And she looked at the phone ringing, you know, and did that. And then I joked that that's your boyfriend you want to talk to? And she told me I don't want to talk to that woman. You know? And turns out that is her mother.
Yeah.
You know? The other day I was talking to somebody very close to me, and her friend has had a complete breakdown in relationship with the mother. And they wanted to go out, and the mother tried to hide her passport. That's really something, you know? Just turning completely against your child. How did that happen? What are the specific things that she did that make you say that she damaged you
Emotionally?
Yeah.
Well, let me give one of the earlier instances. One thing I know right now is, looking back, my mom is the reason why it was very hard for me to have relationships with women. Up to date, it takes a lot to have a relationship with a woman for me. I have more male friends than female friends, but it's also because I didn't have. Now I realize it's because I didn't have a relationship with my mom. So I never knew how it is to have a relationship with a woman. Because the first woman that I had in my life damaged me so much. So when I look back at my childhood, because I was telling you, you know, you've seen movies where people go to a therapist's office and then they always end up telling you, so tell me about your childhood.
Yeah.
That thing is so real. There are so many things from your childhood that now end up translating to your adult life. And they become habits, they become patterns, they become behaviors, they become even thought processes. When I was younger, something that my mom did was, she always gave me more chores than my brothers, simply because I was a girl. You get that? And if I didn't do a chore right, it was a big deal. But if my brothers made a mistake, it was brushed off. It wasn't even talked about. She just did it herself. I make a mistake, the world stops. She must deal with me. You know, because I haven't washed one cup very, very well, you know? Or I didn't wash a spoon extremely well, it's sparkling. Or, you know, I missed a spot when I was wiping a table. But if my brothers made the same mistake, it was okay. So I noticed that difference from the beginning. I noticed how when even chores were distributed, I would end up doing chores for my brothers. Because if I only did my chores and they didn't do theirs, I was asked. They weren't. Yet I'm not the firstborn. So from a very young age, I sort of felt like a maid, quote unquote. I felt like a maid, because I felt like, why am I the only one doing chores? Why am I the only one who's supposed to be accountable for these things? I'm not even the firstborn. I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing, you know. But simply because you're the woman is supposed to be doing this, the woman is supposed to be doing that. It translates a lot. And up to now, you see, what that taught me, right now I have OCD. me and that in my house, I cringe so hard. I would rather wash the whole house from top to bottom again. But it is a trauma response. Because every time I was in charge of chores, I was in charge of making sure the house was clean. And this was from like a very young age, from as young as I was class 5. So you can imagine, in class 5, I was in charge of cooking for the whole house. I learned how to cook from a very young age for the whole family. And my mom didn't teach me how to cook. I remember my dad being the one teaching me how to cook. And I love cooking because my dad taught me how to cook. My mom, when I asked my mom to teach me how to cook, she took a book, she wrote down recipes, and she gave me the book. You figure it out from there. She just wrote, this is what she didn't write like processes, you put this, no. She just wrote, this is what you need. Take. So it's those things right now. And now, like, I love cooking, but I love cooking because of my dad. Because when it was cooking with my dad, it was different. Cooking with my dad meant he's giving you stories, he's telling you, so you put this here, you cut like this, you know, it's very engaging compared to how she would do it. My mom burnt, I said this before, my mom used to burn my clothes. Especially clothes that would either be showing off skin, and I'm not talking like crop tops. I'm talking about this is a top with a cleavage, or these are jeans that just fit me. They just fit me well. So now, because I think I developed body-wise, I developed a bit earlier than most kids. So my calves were showing from a very young age, which brings very unwarranted attention to a girl that age. But at the end of the day, my mom made me feel like I was the reason I was getting this unwarranted attention. Yet it's not me. Because I didn't choose to wake up curvy. And I didn't choose for a man to look at me curvy. First of all, why are you looking at a young girl like that? You know, why are you...
Sick.
Exactly. So the problem was never these men who may have... who may be child abusers, who
they are
and have those tendencies
sexually.
Yeah, it's no longer the conversation of why are these men doing this to you. It was, what are you doing to attract these men? At class 5, what was I doing to attract men?
Yeah.
You know, at class 4, what was I doing to attract men? So it's those things. So she used to make me feel like I was a reason. So she used to try to cover up my body so much. And if my dad used to buy me clothes that I would like clothes that would fit me, clothes that make me feel confident. Now my mom used to take those clothes and burn them. It's like, this is what is giving you that. This is what is making men look at you. So she used to burn them, and I think one of the extreme cases, one of the days I'll never forget, is when that happened to me in church, in a certain church we used to go to. You know, this is Wamamawa church.
Wamamawa choir.
Not even Wamamawa choir. Wamamawa church too. Those women who just congregate in a corner somewhere to judge everywhere.
For what?
It's shameful.
They just congregate somewhere in the church and then they're just judging everyone who walks by. So those women started a rumor of that I am distracting men in the church.
Aye.
Simply because of the way I look.
Cut the cameras.
At what age?
I was a teenager. I was what? Maybe 16, 15.
16, 15.
Yeah. Now, what happened when I thought my mom would defend me, would tell me that it is not your fault, men are being distracted, it is their fault for being distracted. She now used to force me to dress a certain way to go to church. I'm telling you, in the Sunday, I used to hate Sunday mornings because I think I used to do like outfit changes like about 10 times because of that woman. Everything I wear, no, change, no.
What?
So she wasn't the person who you would think I would go to if I'm feeling bad or if something happens. If anything happened to me, I would never ever, my mom is never even like the first thought, even the second or even the 10th thought that I can count about 50 people before I even get to my mom. If I had a problem to go to, she was not even probably even on the list. So, and it's because of those. So everything she did to me ended up damaging me, because I've had to get over body dysmorphia. I had to accept that I was beautiful. You know, that was something that I never felt for a long time, or never like I acknowledged for a long time, because I always thought I was a problem. I was the one who was bringing this bad attention. You know, that was how I used to think. Now I know I'm pretty, I'm beautiful, my body is amazing. If you have a problem with that, that's you.
I hope that you're enjoying this program. Over the last 15 years, I have been working online for clients in America, in Europe, and all over the world. And that is why it pains me a lot when I see a lot of African brothers and sisters saying that they do not have a job. Now, this is the problem. A lot of people are trying to look for a job in 2024 in their own town, in their local area. Now, the truth is, there are no jobs in Africa, at least not so many jobs. The good news is that we have internet these days. We have a tablet, we have a computer, we have a phone, and that means that we can do a lot of jobs, and those jobs are online. That is why over the last 4 years I've been writing a book that is called Digital Goldmine. It is a book that explains to you how you can earn money online. The 18 hustles that I've chosen are basically for Africans, because what happens when you are doing online jobs is that payment is usually a problem. So these 18 side hustles that I have put together in this book, you can be paid very well and very conveniently. Okay, so the book is only 1,000 Kenya shillings. That is about $10. You can buy it in Kenya using pay bill number. You can buy it online from anywhere in the world using a credit or a debit card. All the information about this book is in the description below. And if you have a brother, you have a wife, you have a husband, you have a friend who is sitting at home and watching Netflix, please do buy this book for them. If you are the one sitting at home and watching Netflix and have nothing to do, please buy this book and your life is gonna change forever. Because I have been doing this online and I've been traveling and I've been enjoying myself and having a lot of fun. So thank you very much, and now back to program.
When it comes to like self-esteem, body issues, that's if your parent is the one who body shames you, especially from an early age. You know, if other people are body shaming you, it doesn't hit the way a parent would body shame you.
Like just
it's a different kind of pain. It's a very different kind of pain, because you're the person who brought me to this earth. You know, you're the jeans ni zako. I didn't even ask to be here. In fact, I think my life, I think I stopped stressing a lot about my life when I really just looked at my parents and I was like, you know, I didn't ask to be here. You're the reasons why I'm here. So I'm going to blame you for everything. Because I didn't ask to be here. You didn't ask for my consent.
Yeah.
So, self-esteem was something, okay, but I've always had confidence. Self-esteem was also something that I had to work on. Confidence, even with how I dress, is something that I'm still working on. I tell people this story, like for a very long time, because of how I looked, I never believed, my mom made me believe that dresses weren't my thing. So for a very long time, I never used to wear dresses. And then I bought my first dress last year. And that was a goal. I had to set an intentional goal in the beginning of January 2023 and tell myself by the end of this year, I should have bought a dress. I bought that dress 2 weeks to my birthday. And when I think I wore it for the first time, I felt amazing. And everyone complimented me. Like everyone I was meeting was literally complimenting me. I mean, there are pictures on the internet. They're there. They're there. Like everyone was complimenting me. So for that gave me a different level of perspective. It made me feel like this thing that I have always been told would never look good on me actually does look good on me, but it is a journey, you know. Up to today, now my new goal for this year is to own a pair of shorts and own a crop top.
Period.
So you see, it's and I'm taking back my power, and trying to undo what my mom did for a very long time. Yeah. But I would also have to say I'm very thankful for my other family members. My brothers have been very supportive. I think it's important to anyone who's listening, who you think, because at some point you think you're going crazy, saying that your mom or like noticing these things that your mom is doing that are not normal of a mother, or let me say a good mother. They're not normal. So and at that point in time, I think she can relate. If you're talking to people about these things that your mom is doing, because your mom could be horrible to you, but to everyone else, she's amazing, you know. Yeah. So when you're telling these people, you know, my mom did this to me, they can't believe you because they're like, what do you mean? She's an angel, you know. So there are tendencies that you can pick up from our stories that they're very similar. Like how you grow up being a people pleaser because you're constantly looking for validation from your mom because everything you're doing is wrong to her eyes. That's something that is like, I think, cuts across. The thing of your mom being like one of your first bullies, the things like those things, they cut across. But there's also something like she was giving her account of how it is to live with her mom at this point in time, and she's still living in the same house. I remember for a few months before now I was living alone, when I was living with my mom, it was horrible. And I think I became a workaholic during that point in time because I never wanted to go home. I never wanted to go home and see this woman, you know. So I used to stay way too long in the office for a very long time because I was just avoiding going home. Even to a point where my friends noticed that shift when I started now living alone, and the first thing, immediately I'm done with whatever needs to be done. I'm like, I'm going home. I'm done. So it used to be like, they noticed that difference. There was a point in time where, and it would get very, very late, and I'm still hesitant about going home. Like, I'll only go home if it's like, you know, I'm like, okay, now it's going to be much harder to get transport to go home because now it's very dark. It's very late. Now you've become the extreme opposite. Nowadays, I'm just looking forward to going home because it's my own space. It's my, I'm not feeling like there's someone who's just towering and hovering and there's negative energy around me. I'm not feeling that right now. So it even changes the relationship you have even with other family members. Because you see, in avoiding going home, you're also avoiding everyone else. You know, because of this one person, you're avoiding spending time with even the rest of your family. Subconsciously, you want to avoid this one person, but at the end of the day, it's also making you avoid other people. For a very long time, I hadn't noticed that my mom had never told me she loves me. My dad countlessly has told me I love you. I'm telling countlessly, but I don't remember even one time my mom telling me, or even complimenting. My mom tells me you're so telling hot. Me that you're beautiful, but my dad has always made an effort. Even especially when I used to when I was younger, when I used to get my hair done, immediately I've gotten my hair done. My dad used to be the first one to tell me, let me tell you, you're very beautiful before another boy comes to lie to you. That was my dad. But my mom, I can't remember a day she ever told me that I was beautiful. I can't remember a day she ever told me she loves me. I can't remember because it's not that she's done it. She's never done it. Oh, no. You know, so I realized that some years ago, and it shocked me, and I was like, how are you a parent to someone? And, you know, you look like you don't even want to be this parent to this person, you know. And it's very deep when it comes to mother wounds. And I know there are people who, daddy issues and mother wounds are never treated the same. First of all, mother wounds are barely talked about, which is very important why we're having this conversation, because there needs to be more people talking about it. People idolize moms so much. And even if you even look at Mother's Day, it's overly capitalized because of how people idolize moms to a point where if now you're someone like me who has a very extreme opposite experience with their mom, people don't believe it. They're like, but it's your mom. She's a person. And so what? She's still the person who damaged me, you know. Mother's Day is one of the hardest days for me in the year. Not because I wouldn't want, now it's easier for me to celebrate Mother's Day now that I have let me say some sort of a mother figure in my life now, very different from my mom. But prior to that, it was very hard because you're seeing everyone is like, I love my moms, you know, and Mother's Day, people really do show off their moms. People really do show off their moms. They're everywhere.
You don't show off your mom during
Why
Mother's
would
Day?
I? Especially when you see other people showcasing how much their moms are to them and how much they love them. That's a very unfamiliar feeling for me. I don't know what it means for my mom to love me. So when I see everyone is just posting, it becomes very triggering. Me, Mother's Day, I just turn off my phone. I won't check people's statuses or stories. I just turn off my phone. And then I just wait for the next day when people are done with this Mother's Day nonsense.
And then Mother's Day.
Okay, it's not nonsense.
But something I would
Are you picking her calls?
let me tell I don't mind showing people my call logs. I don't mind showing people my messages, but even her initiating, she's never.
You see,
and
that's
the
what I'm
thing you
saying.
need to remember is I am the child in this conversation.
Do you want the situation with your mother to change? Shasha?
Shasha.
Yeah, there was there is a lady at Power that used to be called Shasha. Sindio? Yeah.
No, I don't
Shaka.
want the situation to change because right now I think I'm in a way better place when she's absent from my life. Though what I know I am going to do is really seek therapy and really seek to heal these wounds, because if I don't want to repeat the cycle. She had a damaged mom who damaged her, and then she damaged me. If I ever have kids, I don't want to repeat that cycle. And I'm never having kids until I get to a point where I can deal with it.
Okay.
You know?
Thank you very much, people of the internet. That was Shaka Kamau.
No!
Please consider subscribing to Dialogues with Jekero. And until another episode, bye for now.